This video was sponsored by World of Warships. More on that in a minute. This week, we've seen a ton of games announce their upcoming deck verified status. Could this be a change of pace for Valve? We'll talk about it. Plus, a new companion app for the Steam Deck aims to improve your gaming experience. And a classic boomer shooter gets a source code release, and it has the community excited. All this and more today.
That's staying in.
Alright, the next release of RetroDECK is here, version 0.8.0. And this release is important since it's the first RetroDECK release since the Nintendo versus Yuzu settlement. And looking at the release notes, you can definitely see the consequences here. Number 1, remove Yuzu and Citra. 20 plus more systems are available in RetroDECK. New engines include GZ Doom, Solaris, Eichmann Go Mugen, and OpenBore. New emulators include Vita 3K, Ryujinx, and MAME standalone. There are new external controller layouts, new Steam Deck layouts, full and simple, new radial menus in the full Steam Deck layout, new GZ Doom parser and RetroDECK.doom file format, and many other changes. Now, according to the notes, quote, if you're upgrading from an older version of RetroDECK, this does not remove any ROMs, saves, BIOS, or configurations you had for Yuzu or Citra. It only removes the ability to run the games via those emulators as they are no longer included. Now, obviously, RetroDECK is adding Ryujinx here to fill the gap that Yuzu left, but what about Citra? Well, according to the blog post, citra-core is now the go-to 3DS emulator. Before we continue, I've got to thank this video's sponsor, World of Warships. Click the first link in my description to download World of Warships and use my code BRAVO for access to some cool exclusives. Are you craving the excitement of the high seas? Well, look no further. World of Warships is a free-to-play naval warfare-themed PC game. You heard me right, it's free. And not only does World of Warships feature top-notch graphics, stunning water effects, and textures, but it also has new content like ships and cosmetics releasing every month. There are multiple different ship classes that you can play as, like battleships, destroyers, or even submarines. And you can play World of Warships by yourself, or you can create a division with your friends. And if PC gaming isn't your jam, World of Warships is also available on Xbox and PlayStation. Click the link in my description and download World of Warships today. Use code BRAVO to receive a massive starter pack including 500 doubloons, 1.5 million credits, 7 days of premium account time, and a free ship after you complete 10 battles to boot. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in my description, use promo code BRAVO for all these free goodies, and get playing. And thanks to World of Warships for sponsoring this video today. Next up, I want to talk about this new app called DeckFilter. DeckFilter bills itself as a, quote, Steam Deck companion app. It lets you filter your Steam library quickly by how long to beat, ProtonDB, deck compatibility, tags, and genre. It's available on Google Play and Apple's App Store. Not only that, but the app's creator publishes blog posts about various game bundles, including the Humble Monthly bundles, among other fascinating reads. Full disclosure, the creator of this app is a patron of mine, and he's also a member of our Discord channel. If this piques your interest, you can check out their website, deckfilter.app. And speaking of Humble, the Devious Deckbuilders bundle is now upon us. $20 will get you 7 deck building games. They include Book of Hours, which has an unknown deck rating, but has a native Linux client, according to ProtonDB. Astria 6-Sided Oracles, which is playable. Dungeon Drafters, which is verified. Mahokenshi the Samurai Deck Builder, which is playable. Zoetti, which is verified. Gordian Quest, which is verified. And Floppy Knights, which is ProtonDB Gold. As with all Humble bundles, a portion of your purchase goes towards charity, and if you use my affiliate links below, you'll be able to help this show out at no additional cost to you. And if you do use my link, thank you. So this week, we've seen several popular games announce their upcoming verified status. The first is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. This is the hotly anticipated title from Atlus and Sega, which is slated for release on June 14th. This is super exciting because this means that Valve's done the testing needed to validate this game well in advance of the game's actual launch date. Clicking the Learn More button on the game's verified badge does have an important caveat though. Quote, the game's first time setup requires an active internet connection. So that might be a deal breaker if you don't like those kind of first run setups. But I do think this is progress for Valve, getting the game verified well in advance of its release. Next up, we've got Fallout 4, which has an upcoming verified status with their next free patch on April 25th. This patch also includes ultra widescreen support, fixes for the creation kit, and a variety of quest upgrades, plus stability fixes, mod fixes, and bug fixes. And this will include more updates for the game as well. Then we have Black Mesa's Necro patch, which includes some key updates for the Steam Deck. Namely, they've improved Vulkan support, they've added a new renderer and optimizations for post-processing. They've also fixed crashes as well as UI flickering and artifacting. They've improved controller support using Steam Input, and crucially, they've added proper gyro support for the Steam Deck. And they're also talking about Blue Shift, which is very exciting. Then we have Ghost of Tsushima. I can't say it. Finally, let's talk about Ghost of Tsushima's PC port. While the port has no official Steam verified status yet, given Sony's track record with supporting the deck from day zero, we can anticipate the game should at least be friendly to the Steam Deck. And given that this week Sony revealed the minimum specifications for the game on PC, well, we can deduce that the Steam Deck is going to fall somewhere between minimum and recommended, but closer to minimum. So let me know, are you excited about any of these games, Fallout 4 or Ghost of Tsushima? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now let me ask you a question. Do you enjoy these videos? Do you like these weekly deep dives into deck news? Why not like that smash button? It's the best way to tell YouTube you want to see more videos just like this. You can also get subscribed if that's more your speed. And you can also check out my streaming site where I'm hosting these videos on my own, subscribe2.me. So classic boomer shooter Descent 3 has just had its source code released under the MIT, or no, actually it looks like it's no license right now. We'll get to that in a minute. About this release, Kevin Bentley said, quote, "This is the latest version of the Descent 3 source code. This includes the 1.5 patch that Jess Slutter and Kevin Bentley wrote several years ago. At the time, it worked for Windows, Linux, and Mac. Some proprietary sound and video libraries from Interplay have been stripped out, the ACM and MVE format. I have the code if someone wants to help make a converter so the old cutscenes work. It will take some effort to stub out that code so it compiles. The first thing I want to do is get everything compiling again, and ideally some CI/CD actions. After that, the code needs to be cleaned up some to remove old version control comments, etc. A lot of this code was written by a really great team, but keep in mind that we were much younger and less experienced back then. Now, I love it when old games have their source code released. I'd love to see where this goes, and hopefully they'll get the licensing figured out and source ports will start appearing on FlatHub and in Linux repositories. So yeah, let's circle back to the licensing thing, because it looks like GitHub's default MIT license was originally used when the repo was created, but Kevin Bentley wasn't sure if that was the right one to use, so he took out the license file for now. There's an ongoing discussion about licensing on GitHub. You can check that out with the links below. Despite the licensing issue, the code has seen a ton of development from the community since it was originally posted. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Did you play Descent 3 back in its day? Or will you be giving it a spin now? Feed that engagement algorithm and let me know down in the comments below. Well, that's all the Steam Deck news that I wanted to cover this week. Make sure that you check out some of my other videos. I've got a D&D campaign going on over here on my second channel. It's incredibly funny, and we've had an overwhelmingly positive response to it. You can also check out this video here, which is what YouTube thinks that you're going to enjoy next. Thanks to my members on Ko-fi, Patreon, and here on YouTube for their continued support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.